Hello,
Hello.
Max. Why are you twice? I mean, I'm not against it, but why?
I had to have my headphones from my phone and then the camera from my laptop.
But don't worry about the camera. It's okay if you don't have a camera.
Yeah, sure, true. But it's feels good. You have your own side. Feels good
It's
to show
okay.
myself as well.
That is okay. It's perfect.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. True. This is the first community meeting of the year. I'm going to ask you one thing and one thing only. Did you add anything to the agenda?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay.
I forgot about it.
Can you try to do it, please?
Yes.
Because I need to. We are testing the new agenda. It is
Let
kind of
me
a thing
exactly.
because it's not just us testing the agenda, it's also the CNCF people because this is like experimental production grade working.
Oh, that's a good contradiction. The experimental production.
Yeah, it is in production, but we are still experimenting with it. Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
Uh, I am still bad at navigating the website. Where do I find the
It's in
agenda?
the organization page on GitHub, which
Perfect.
is something that actually we are going to change due to what you just said. So let me add the first item. Oh, I might do something. Okay. Uh, Add community meeting and agenda links into the CloudNativePG repository. And guess what? That's me. Okay. Adding this. Yoo-hoo! Here we are.
I am probably looking at the wrong place. Organization.
Let
No.
me share my screen. Okay. How can I share the screen?
Now I found it. Now I found it.
No, I need
Just
to
in
share the
time.
screen anyway.
And if
I'm guessing that's this one. Yes. How we did it to publish on the other ones? Check, 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 check.
okay, that's the template. It seems like I can enter the edit page. Let's see if I can.
You should be able to edit. You need to click right here because you have this view.
Right.
You need to click on the. I used the two screen or one
Hmm?
screen.
Yes, you can see mine to the left. I just wanted to make sure. Cool.
Nice, it works.
Business. Yeah, this is fantastic. This makes it a lot easier to sort of put something on the wall to bring up.
Funciona. It just took 1 year to change. Okay, has been 3 minutes. We have 30 participants. Oh my gosh, a lot of people here. Okay, thank you everyone. Welcome to the meeting number number 70. Oh my gosh. January 15, 2026, the first one of the year. That is amazing. That is great. Okay, so starting by the agenda, I just add this because, okay, I'll do it. It is a pull request to create this one. Okay. Um, view. I'm not adding anything, so just view. If you have something to say or add in the agenda, please do it now. The idea is to add it before the meeting to start, but since we work like this all the time, now I think it doesn't matter. So,
did you notice that everyone is adding to the attendee list of the next meeting, not this one? So I think we should fix it.
I copy then. Well, the idea
Oops.
started here, but we copy later if it's not an issue. Because I was testing on this one, but looks like everyone followed me. Anyway, okay, let's start. Welcome everyone to the community meeting number 70, 2026, January 15. Okay, starting for the first one, Jaime. I'm guessing this is Jaime Silvela because of the S, right?
Yeah,
Jaime? Okay.
I'm just keeping a low profile.
The
All the
word is
fans.
all yours, please.
Okay, this should take not a lot of time right now because I don't require the discussion now. But this thing has been bugging me for a long time, which is the tablespace reconciler. The tablespace reconciler only looks at having the PVCs ready in the primary, and we had a hack so that this could work when we were adding table spaces to an existing cluster. So the point of this work that I have working already is to fix that. So the table space reconciler will make sure that the replicas have the PVCs mounted that are necessary to support a new table space. Now, the discussion is the following. During the development, the initial fix does a switchover now properly, and so the old primary gets restarted so it can become a replica. And then there's a following thing immediately to that, which is that it recognizes that it's missing a PVC, and so it restarts. The controller restarts the pod. And I think that this is a bit inefficient. It's two restarts where we could have a single one, but since it's not done that way in the most of the code base, I'm wondering if it's a really bad idea. So I would like to get feedback before I ask for a review for my code. And this is a draft code, okay? It's not finished yet, but I want to get like some design idea about that. Anyway, it was not for now, but for, architects, please have a look and let me know.
Anyone have to say something about it?
No, that's the problem is real, and yeah, we need to check implementation. But yeah, there is a special case in our code, and if we can get rid of the special case, it's a good thing.
Okay. Continue with the next one. Jeremy. Because I'm guessing that this one is Jeremy Schneider because I don't know everyone is at the same time. So, Wiki.
Yes.
What is this?
Good morning.
Good morning,
This
good
is
afternoon, good evening.
That's right. It's good evening for you guys. I'm in Seattle. It's early in the morning. This is the question about the background of this is that I was looking for some kind of a place where I have one, I'm about to put together a second kind of an example or an exercise set of steps that people can walk through for the sandbox. I've been spending a lot of time in the sandbox lately, mainly as kind of a consistent environment to build on top of, especially with some monitoring type stuff. So I can put stuff like on my personal blog, but it would be nice to have a place that's kind of more sort of CNPG to share stuff like that. So this is where I had kind of like was asking the question. GitHub has a feature called a wiki that can be turned on. The wiki could potentially allow anybody with a GitHub account to edit the wiki without it having to go through like PRs and have somebody test it and be a maintainer only. We do have GitHub discussions, but discussions, the difference is that an author, I could post something there, but then nobody else can edit or contribute. Postgres itself has wikis, which I find them pretty useful as a little bit more ad hoc place to put information and to collaborate. Some concerns were raised about spam in the thread, which is a really good point. I don't think that. So I guess my high level question is I'm wondering if folks would be open to sort of maybe an experiment here where we sort of open up a wiki and see whether. I don't think the spam is going to become a big problem because you have to have a GitHub account to use this. It's not like anybody can edit the wiki. And then like also you have the ability to just block people if somebody comes in with their GitHub account and starts spamming the wiki. And also if nobody's really whether it's a target for spam partly depends on if it gets any traffic. And if it's just kind of an obscure, I mean, I don't even know if our discussions get a huge amount of traffic, the wiki would probably be even less. So this is my question. It would be really helpful for me because it would also kind of unblock. There's a few of you might have heard about the. I'd also built an addition to the sandbox, which is a set of instructions to just like spin the whole thing up on a VM, kind of a one shot. Just like it gives you an instantly running. Sorry, playground gives you an instantly running playground on a VM. And I've been kind of considering whether I could do a PR to try to contribute that back. But one of the big problems is that it has lab exercises and locking all the lab exercises. To me, it doesn't really make sense to put those in the playground because how do you decide who like would be able to write lab exercises? I think it makes more sense for the playground just to be how to set up a playground. And then if we're going to have exercises on top of the playground, I think I don't think because it's just I think fairness is going to be really hard for somebody writes a lab exercise for how to set up time scale or how to do this or how to do that. You could easily have dozens of lab exercises on top of the playground, and I don't know if we want to have maintainers policing which exercises get committed and which don't. So a wiki seems like a much better place to put exercises. That's kind of a high level pitch for that.
Okay, the first question here to rise is, okay, you need a GitHub account. Fair enough. Who is going to moderate it?
So I don't think a wiki. So when you say moderation, if you just mean like watching for spam, that's fine. But I think the whole point of a wiki would not be. It would if it's a wiki. Like the idea is like people can go in and it shouldn't need to have PRs.
As
right?
every documentation, as everything that is written needs to be moderated in one way or another. In this case, for
discussions are not moderated. Discussions this is more on par with GitHub discussions. Like a wiki is just a wiki. It's not supposed to be documentation.
Yeah, the fact is that in the documentation, in the discussion, you can only post for yourselves. In a wiki, there is the possibility to have an edit war between two opposite point of view, and it is something that can quickly go out of control if there's not a team of moderators. And,
so I don't think this has ever been a problem on the Postgres wiki. Like Wikipedia, sure, yes, Wikipedia is like this thing which is political and has a lot of attention.
It is a big problem in the Postgres wiki.
Edit wars?
It is a problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
outdated content. That's the bigger problem.
No, that's different. Yes, there's outdated content, but that's a
Okay,
wiki.
but
Like if anybody goes to a wiki, they should expect some outdated content, right?
I can see the 2 or 3 major problems here. The first one is moderation. It doesn't matter if it's a wiki or not. Everything requires some moderation. After many years of experience on Wikipedia and everything and everywhere, requires moderation. Not just because of the spam, it's because of the kind of content. Because if someone is going to add, it's going to be beautiful people adding content. But if that content doesn't make any sense, or that content doesn't add any value, or even if that content is wrong, which is really possible with today's people adding stuff with AI and add a lot of stuff, the real content that doesn't have problems is going to be missing in between a lot of garbage. And that is an issue. That the idea of generating this kind of content is generate content with quality and value. So, and that's why you require moderation of some kind at some point. I don't think it's a bad idea. The problem is that it requires more time. And if it's going to happen a lot of things in this, and probably not at the beginning, but after 6 months, 8 months. What happened with the project is if you don't keep, if you have the time at the beginning, but not later, it's going to be lost in time. And that is not desirable. It's actually it creates the opposite action. People start saying that this is not useful because all the content is just garbage. The content is not outdated. The content needs to be, you require time for that. That's one of the things. And the playground has been moving slow, but it requires time, but it works. Now, adding the wiki is not a bad idea, but requires people to spend some time and moderate the content. Because it could happen sometime that people will upload content that is generated with AI. We are in this kind of world now, and that content will not have any sense or will not work, and it will be the same content with different names many times probably, just because of the author wants to have more stars on GitHub.
Well, let's be careful here. Probably almost everybody on this call is today generating content with AI that is really good quality content. So just because it's generated by AI doesn't automatically mean it's bad. The question is simply the quality of the content. And like even without AI, people could write really bad blog posts with bad information, and people can write wiki pages that have bad information. But wiki, again, like I think this comes back to expectations of like it's sort of for my part, I have never like, I don't know, Wikipedia, even in the early days of Wikipedia, it was all you never treated it like an encyclopedia. Like you always check the sources. I don't know. It's like to me, or it's just like the internet, right? I mean, like you go on the internet and you read something and like, does that make it true? No. Like and a wiki, like it's not, people are not going to get confused and go to the wiki and think that they're looking at documentation. Like these are two very different things. Official documentation should be accurate. There should be a high bar for that. A wiki's a wiki. I don't know. Like I sort of feel like we're maybe over-indexing a little bit on like people's ability to kind of like know what they're reading. Like it's just a wiki. But I hear what you're saying, and if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
No, I think it could happen, but what we want to solve, probably we are trying to solve an issue that is not an issue yet. Probably we can solve it in 6 months time and it will be not an issue. We can probably open that project to, in a different way, manage the cooperation of exercise in a lab by not creating a wiki, but creating links to an open repo that it could be a list of gist, or we can open stuff like that that will create content. So it will be like a set of gifts that people can start update, or we create the structure of wiki pages that, for example, what do you want to do? Managing the dump, managing restore, the backups and sections, and we create structured content.
Well, I'll give you,
it will have more.
My very practical,
more future.
My immediate thing, I have one lab right now, which is Jepson on CNPG. That one I wrote last fall. The second one I'm about to write right now is going to do that. I POC'd it last year. I've got everything ready. The reason I've been in the playground the last week is because I want to put this together this weekend and publish it. Is a lab exercise that walks you through setting up active session monitoring, basically the equivalent of like Oracle's Top Activity View or Amazon's Performance Insights, right? And doing that whole thing on CMPG. Super useful stuff. Um, right now, the whole Jepsen thing just lives on my personal GitHub. Um, and like I'm trying to decide where am I going to publish this thing. I can just like move it all to my own personal blog and my personal GitHub, and it'll never go back to, it's sort of like I would love to be able to reference the playground like when I do this because I'm building it all on top of the playground. But I think that what's going to happen is I'm probably just going to have to write a blog post that's like, here you can run this thing, but you have to run it out of Jeremy's GitHub. You can't really run it from the playground because that's where I'll probably end up publishing it, which is fine. I can do that.
That is one of the issues that we also have with the plugin, for example. For example, in that case, in this lab, if it fails, who is going to be responsible of fixing the stuff?
Say it again.
If
Keep in
something
mind
in
The lab.
exactly on the example, someone
Well,
posted
that's
an
why
example on a lab.
the Jepsen. That's exactly why I don't want to submit the Jepsen lab itself as a PR to the playground, right? Like I think the playground should just be how to set up the playground, and I already have like that's the thing. I have a PR out there now for end-to-end tests, like things for the playground itself. I think the code that's in the playground should have tests for the code, so we can have GitHub Actions that automatically run the test that somebody submits a PR, and you have tests that run that tell you if the code breaks anything. What I want to do is split it out so that the PR I submit to the playground is only stuff that has test coverage, and the Jepsen lab itself would just go like on a wiki, right? Like where a wiki, like I think, like to me, whenever I see the word wiki, like in my brain, it automatically says it's just a wiki. It could be wrong, right? Like I don't expect like perfection. And similarly, if I'm on a wiki and like somebody else wrote an exercise and I realize, oh, they wrote this for CNPG 124, I can just edit the page and fix it myself. Like it's a different bar. But like this is where I'm saying, like I'll probably instead of like the wiki stuff, I'll probably just put the Jepsen pieces on my own blog or my own GitHub site. Is probably what I'll do. In fact, maybe what I could do is just put a wiki on my personal GitHub and like solve the problem that way and just have that be the place where lab exercises are. That could work.
And it could be an experiment.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind that the CNPG staff is stretched very thin, and we just don't want to take more responsibilities. And not because we can, just because we'll do a poor job at everything.
Yes. Well, that's yeah. That's I don't think. Yeah. I see that and that's yeah. I think some of this comes down to like sort of the expectations of how much it's just a checkbox, right? In the settings for the GitHub site that would like turn on or off like the wiki section. And it's if we turned it on, like how much of it, what is it going to turn into a problem, or is it something that can just kind of be left on its own for the most part? And that's kind of something I guess we don't really know for sure.
The other thing is that
You can always
wikis
just turn it
on
off too.
GitHub,
Like,
So the other thing is that wikis on GitHub also serve as documentation, but we've got really well documentation specifically separate. So that should be the first,
well, but I don't think like
resource users use.
I don't think people will get confused, although that is our next topic in this meeting is the documentation. But I don't think people like when you have an official documentation site, like, and then you have a wiki. I mean, you can put a thing at the top of the wiki that says like this is not the documentation. Here's the link to the docs. I don't think people will get that mixed up. But we've got limited time. Maybe we should jump onto the documentation topic because that's also really important.
I will not close the door to the wiki, but still we need to moderate. That is the only thing that I say. Because I spend a lot of time reviewing a lot of requests that people merge or issues that people just write with no content or comments on issues or requests that are spam and sometimes viruses. So I'm not talking about
we should turn on
spam
now
on the content.
because there's
wait a second. I'm speaking that there's going to be spam because I know there is already a lot of spam, not because I'm guessing. Okay, I'm saying because I'm the one blocking a lot of stuff. So this is what I'm saying is because it's based on the experience of all the spam we get on the repos. Okay, that is the only thing. That's why moderation, it could be great. We can open. I'm not against it, actually. I'm really open because the wiki are really good in that sense. But also, I know that the internet is full of trolls and people doing a lot of stuff that are not good and requires some moderation. Probably not a lot of time moderating stuff. Who knows? But it could. It requires someone that is going to be reading the updates, taking a look on the stuff, and okay, yeah, it's okay. Probably 10 minutes a day will be not, or 10 minutes a week, but someone needs to be responsible of keeping an eye. That's all.
Jonathan, what channels are we getting a lot of spam right now that you have to spend time blocking?
Issues.
Is it like
requests
PR?
on
Is
CNPG?
it issues?
Yeah. Issues open with no subject. Issue opens with the same that is open twice for the same people or 3 times, and issues that are open reference all issues that already fixed it, or some people
to be honest, those
AI.
Is helping with that kind of issue, because Dozu is becoming very good to link all the issues and to suggest things that have already been worked around. So
yeah.
At least
right now it's not that much. Before it was a lot. Dozu helps a lot. Okay, but that is the only issue. I think we can open the wiki. By the way, I'm not against it. Probably it could be a really good idea. But
okay,
if someone is agreeing with taking an eye on it, I'm more than happy.
I'm happy to help, but the only thing is, like, I think that the way the privileges work with GitHub is that only people with the contributor bit are probably going to be able to. Well, so
that
let
is
me think.
that is another issue.
Like,
it's
I can flag
different.
stuff. I'm happy to watch and like let you know or let somebody know or post if I see any content that looks like outright spam. I think for a wiki, like, when I say spam, like I mean stuff that's like obviously, somebody posts a link to something that's completely unrelated to CNPG. Like low quality content, like I'm probably not going to be like, oh, I think this is inaccurate information, like they did the CNPG install wrong. Like it's a little more room for, I don't know, maybe commenting on the thing or something, but
I'm more concerned about people suggesting to be dangerous thing, to do some dangerous thing, like, I don't know, manually changing things that they should not change, or deleting things inside the data directory to achieve something. I don't know.
Yeah,
because
like
that kind of thing can create a lot of issue if someone follows and then lose data or something like that. So yeah, that is my.
Okay, but as Flor just said, the first step is okay. Let's order a little bit. If someone taking charge of reviewing, I'm more than agree. We can put this, enable the wiki. Good thing. The second one, that person or the persons that are going to in charge of reviewing this, we need to follow the process to make a component owner on this stuff and everything. Join the organization and everything. Give the permissions. Evaluate the permission stuff. Second step. Third step. Add a disclaimer, because every wiki page we need to put on top a big disclaimer. Everything that you can see here and execute is on you. Please don't run this on production without testing everything. And a big disclaimer in big red, because yes, even if someone is doing some moderation, can clean up some content, something can pass and will pass. And so we need to protect against it. And yeah, I know that people, for example, may not resume this wiki as a documentation and everything, but we have AI now that is scrapped, and those LLM may scrap the wiki, and the wiki will be a reference, and then the scrapping will say, no, it was here in the LinkedIn, and from where you take this, and they execute, because it's obviously AI, it works, and they will say the reference is the wiki. Oh, now the wiki is a reference for an LLM. It could happen. But anyway, the thing is step by step. Before going that fast or thinking so much, let's do the steps. If someone is moderate, we follow the step and we agree. It's not a problem. But someone needs to be in charge. it takes a lot of time and responsibility to do it. Okay.
So I have something for me to do, which is go find out whether GitHub. So I need to find out what GitHub's capabilities are and like what GitHub Wiki, because it's not nothing like Media Wiki or something. Like it doesn't have plugins and all the like
No,
sophisticated stuff. But I will check and find out whether it has like some way to sort of enforce like a header or some kind of a message to go like on every single wiki page. I'll try to see what I can learn about that.
yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah. You tell me, and we can test and everything, and probably we can ask other maintainers, other projects in the community how they manage this stuff. Probably also we can add those two to the wiki and use those two to stop any kind of spam or wrong content. That it could be a
Yeah.
good idea too. It is. See, it's about commitment and then the process. And then if you Jeremy are agree, we can add you as a component owner. It's not an issue. We need to vote and everything, and I will add you to the organization, then to the proper group for the component owner, for permission with the wiki and all the stuff. That is a lot of work,
Okay.
but it requires the study the GitHub stuff in wiki, because this is the first time that I hear about GitHub having wiki. Okay. If you can
I will
give me
also
some
see if we
hints,
can format the entire wiki in Comic Sans.
that will be fun. Okay. Moving forward, for 30 next issue, Jeremy docs. This
That
is
was a funny
something I
comment
have
about Comic
nothing to
Sans.
say.
Okay. Oh, the
Yeah.
docs? Oh my goodness. This is a big one. Is Gabriele here though today? I don't know if he is.
No,
The
it's 2
oh
a.m.
no, and Flora has to drop too. So the problem is that when we push the new documentation out, the links all broke, right? Because it changed the URL. Well, there's actually a couple of things. The biggest one is probably that the links are all broken, which means Google is now returning 404s and bad links when people do search results. AI agents are giving bad links. Like it's just our own like now I did see a commit last night go through where Gabriele fixed a couple of them, but there's still links all over the CNPG website itself. Like every single link to the CNPG documentation broke overnight, and all of them because we changed the URL path, we changed the top level subdirectory that the docs live in, so everything's broken. Then there's some smaller issues like there is no latest anymore. But the big one is the broken links, and that's probably the most urgent thing because that's going to impact like search ranking. That's gonna impact a lot of people. I mean, every time somebody searches on Google to try to find a documentation page and then they click the link and they get a 404 because the page doesn't exist. It's really not good for like user experience. Um, sure. See what it does. All right, go back and search for like CloudNativePG. Oh, hold on. Look down. That one's updated. That's good. Go down a little bit more. What's that next link underneath though? Ah, do something that pulls you into a page. I'm trying to think of something. Uh,
Replica clusters.
there you go. Try replica clusters. Yeah, just don't pull out the word documentation. Is that going? That's looking good. That's good. It's getting updated. Let me find the search that I had yesterday because I know that I saw this. And there's been a bunch of threads about it in the Slack channel. Well, here's the thing. We have like there's a solution to this that's been sort of bounced around in Slack. And Jeff has volunteered to do, he couldn't make the meeting this morning, but he's volunteered to do all the configuration of it, which is to set up Cloudflare on the URL, and then let me find it's in the CloudNativePG-www Slack channel is where some of the discussions were.
But I haven't followed this, to be honest.
Okay. Well, so there was a thread where Gabriele said he was going to yesterday see something about the CNCF helping. I think I just wanted to raise this that I think I'm worried that bad URLs yeah, see those that's the one where he fixed a bunch of locations there. I'm worried the bad URLs are going to have kind of knock-on effects of either it looks like the Google indexes are getting updated because your searches just now all came through. What did I search yesterday?
I mean, that is how the search engine works. So I suppose they should be doing
Oh no,
something
see,
like.
I can give you an example. So yesterday I typed CNPG switchover delay. Try that search on Google. Let's see if
Wait a
it's
Wait a second. What happened with the copy and paste? Okay.
I've got one just now that gave me a 404, and it wasn't the top hit. It was like the third hit on the search results. But I just searched first CNPG switchover delay. Let's see what this does. So hold on, not the top one.
No, this will fail. But okay, for example, this is 126.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not supported anymore.
Right, but the problem is like people have these bookmarked and like people link to them from their blog posts and people link to like this is like these are this is the official documentation. I think we really should not break all the links.
Okay, so the problem is that
all you need is redirects. This is usually fairly simple to solve with a redirect. You can put like this is really easy to do with Cloudflare. You can put Cloudflare in front of it and just put a redirect layer that catches anything with /documentation and redirects it to /docs.
Okay. The first thing first. Who's going to pay?
That's where we probably needed.
You don't need to pay Cloudflare if you are not using the advanced feature. I don't think this is an advanced feature, or it is.
Okay.
Well, these are all things to figure out.
I think it can be done with the free version of Cloudflare indeed.
I never use it Cloudflare. That is my first question. Who's going to pay? If that is solved, who is going to put the account? It needs to be someone responsible.
So Jeff asked, Jeff's been waiting about a week. Gabriele said he was going to make it. So Jeff asked to create an account on Slack. This is where we don't have the people that we need here at this meeting. So
what I will say is that do we have something that can do that work in one of the CNCF resources?
Yeah, Gabriele asked the same question. Here's the...
And he had an answer?
Not yet. If you jump into Slack and look at the channel, the cloud in Slack, the www Slack channel for CloudNativePG, and there's a couple of discussions in there.
Infrastructure last training project contributes services for the CNCF projects. Hosted tool resources. Okay. Crusade Inspector, I don't know what it is. Discord, Slack, Fossa, Sneak, LFX, Fastly, Scar, Fastly. What is Fastly? Will it secure and deliver instantly? No, doesn't look like. But this is like I'm going to paste the page here. This is like the page where to look for the kind of tools that we are provided by the CNCF. Probably there's something here.
Put that on Slack.
By the way, I know we have credit. We should use it. Cloud infrastructure. Okay, cloud infrastructure. CNCF start familiar with them, blah, blah, blah. AWS, GCP, Oracle, Akamai, Linux. Okay. Cloudflare? No. KubeCon, Cloudflare. They are supporting KubeCon? Doesn't look like. We can look one of the tools here. That is the first step. The second one is Docosaurus. Docosaurus doesn't support Redux. Like solving this issue because what I can see here is that CNPG switch over. What's the link? It needs to be on. Okay, but this is the. So the link is something like documentation 26. So this is the kind of thing. It's a GitHub pages. This is your site. Make sure that the file in case match the URL. And GitHub doesn't have a solution for this. Start here, confirm. Okay. GitHub pages redirects.
It's a static site.
Look. Configure redirects. Eccolo. So, redirects across files. If you change the name of an article, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I just dropped the link in. We'll add that to the discussion. I'll add that to the Slack thread with Jeff.
I don't know. I think that look, actually what we need is something that say a slash documentation redirect to a slash docs. To be. Okay, I'm going to put this on the agenda, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also the missing latest, because
yeah, that's the other thing.
Well, documentation slash latest docs leak, so different.
Well, and also the missing older versions too. So we only pulled the two most recent versions into Docusaurus, but lots of people, including me sometimes, like are still running or testing older versions of CNPG, and all of the docs just disappeared. Like just yesterday, I was I was dealing with like an issue on 124, and like there are no docs for 124 anymore. Like I just have to go to GitHub and try to read the markdown files directly off the old branch.
I mean, yeah, if we have
there's an issue here. There's an issue here. The new engine requires the modification of the MD files, and there are a lot of small things that make it fail with the old documentation. So to build the old documentation, we need to update it, and that's.
Can we is there a way to put the old documentation back up just for the old versions?
If we have redirects, we can redirect everything that is slash documentation to a site that will be like all documentation with all the previous build documentation that we already have, because it's in the Git history. We can do that because the documentation is still there.
Yeah, the documentation is in the Git history. Yes, that's true. We could do that, restoring the old documentation for the old versions. I don't know if it is easy to do.
I know it's easy because it is in the web page GitHub. So we need to extract the directory from the specific version when this was migrated 2-3 months ago. There's no many commits there to look for. We copy the entire directory. We publish in a GitHub pages in a different URL to not bother with the slash docs. And we using the GitHub redirects push redirect. That could work without requiring anything like Cloudflare or anything external. So the old documentation is still live as a hard copy, not modified copy. Probably what we can do is we modify with some set and put in every header. This is all redirect to the new one. Something we can do like that. And starting from there, we can do the redirections. It sounds not easy, but it sounds something that it can be done. It requires some time, obviously. But the first thing is this. Looks like they have redirects on GitHub. I didn't know this either. Sorry about that. It is something.
Okay, I'll ask Jeff about that. Jeff has spent more time looking at solutions than anybody else. So I'll ask him I'm asking him right now on Slack whether he's looked at the GitHub redirects yet or not.
if you can ping me there and add me to the discussion, I can help you to do this on the documentation on the site. If we at some point decide that it is not a good idea, we find out that the documentation, bring it from the Git, get the directory, put in a different stuff, it will require some more work or something like that, we switch to the Fastly. We can do that too. It's not a bad idea. But first, the GitHub redirects is there. So it is something we can create probably. And the current documentation, I don't know how it's structured. I know that this repo exists. It's published in somehow somewhere, but for sure I know that the website here. So we have the documentation directory that we can redirect here. But again, need to learn how it's the docs because I haven't worked on looking to that project yet. This one. Because this one is the one publishing the stuff published docs. So everything that is inside website and website hide docs. So, I don't know, we'll probably even add something here. It could be a good idea because the 404 is just not phone. Meaning that here the documentation directory can exist probably. There is a lot of things that can be done, but requires some look. But yeah. I don't know, Francesco is not on the call. Neither Leonardo, but yeah, they work with this. I can ask them how this is published in the structure and get more information so we can work on fix this. That is important. And to publish regex and try to publish the R documentation. If we can do that, it will be awesome. Okay, Marco dropped it. So probably Leonardo had to. Okay. Can you tag me, Jeremy? You have that conversation?
Can I do what?
Tag me on the
Oh, I did
discussion in the
already.
chat.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. What else? There's nothing else on the documentation. On the documentation. Oh my gosh. On the agenda. Okay, I think yeah, that is
There was another topic that Jeff asked us to talk about, but there's a lot of people on the call. Surely somebody else has things they want to talk about. I don't want to just monopolize the time.
that was actually the other question. Who has something to talk about that didn't add it to agenda? One, two, three. No one. I can sing. No. Okay, Jeremy, what was the Jeff?
Jeff's other topic was about PVC auto resizing. I've been trying to keep up. He's been doing a lot of stuff, and it's hard for me to keep up with all the messages on Slack in general, not just Jeff's messages. But he's been doing some work. He tested there's sort of a separate project that can do PVC auto resizing, and he did some testing of trying to get that project to work with CNPG, but it sounds like he ran into some problems where they didn't always cooperate with each other, which kind of opens the question. So like, I definitely would love to have, the main thing is being able to have a feature where PVCs automatically grow when they're getting to some percentage of free space. Some other Postgres operators already have this capability built in. The I guess one question would, I think there's maybe a PR out there that somebody started. I don't know. I don't know for sure. If that was something that is actually a PR that was like ready for testing and everything. But it's a feature I'd love to see. And the first question is probably like, is it something that like we even want CNPG to have directly versus just, having it be something that's handled by just being able to integrate with some other project or something, or just coding it directly into CNPG. I sort of feel like it makes sense to code it directly into CNPG at some point once somebody has the time and the PR can be written and the code is good enough. That's the general topic, though, is auto resizing PVCs.
Don't we already have that? The resize of the PVCs?
I thought we support increasing, we just don't support decreasing, which is the more dangerous procedure. And I think the operator applies it. Yeah, if I'm pretty sure if your storage class supports increase, I think the operator just applies the new setting. If the storage class doesn't,
no. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is I want to allocate a PVC of 10 gigabytes, and I want the maximum size of that PVC to be 200 gigabytes. And as soon as somebody has 5 gigabytes, I want CNPG to automatically grow the PVC as it fills up. So I want, without me having to do anything, I want CNPG to make the PVC bigger over time.
That is not a bad idea. Dangerous idea, but not a bad idea.
No. This is like something, like I said, other Postgres operators already have this. And RDS does this, and like this is kind of something it's sort of a space. Lots of people have already done this for databases. You need to have a maximum size is usually the main thing that you need. So it's not like unbounded growth. It's just, you're just sort of saying I want to initially allocate this much, and my maximum size is up here. And then the other thing that there's questions about whether you allow people to configure sort of the extent size, sort of how much you grow by, and like what's the trigger point, like at what percentage of allocation. Is it, 60% utilization? Is it 80% utilization? Is it some kind of a fixed number? Is it a formula? There's a few ways to do that.
There is one problem, and that is that increasing requires switchover. I'm not sure if we support it live.
That is the main question here, I think. Why the storage class doesn't provide that? Or do the storage class actually provide that? Because the thing is, when you are increasing the size, because we are not talking about storage, we are talking about file system. The file system can do it live. That is not a problem. If you are using extend 4 or if you're using RacerFS, no, RacerFS has been out for a long time. XFS, you can do the resize live. So the storage will for sure provide you that, but will not provide you the the question is, to make it live, you need to extend the file system. So you need to support to extend the file system. And that opens a big Pandora's box because the file system doesn't depend on the operator. So how the operator will know which file system to extend? If you are using something like Topo LVM and you will extend an LVM, you will extend in a partition, you will have to require to extend that file system. If you do the same with some storage EBS or whatever you use, GCP or Azure, you need to extend that file system because the file system is the one that needs to be extended too.
We can look at how other people have done this. Like this has been done before. And there's both. I linked in the notes to Jeff's thread on Slack, and he's linking to something called PVC Auto Resizer, which is a sort of an independent project that somebody did. Yeah, that link there.
I mean, but the storage class knows which file system is under the hood. So the storage class can provide that. Yeah. But it's also, I think that it's in the description of the storage class. It's not a bad idea, but I don't. It requires a lot of thinking. Yeah. And he open. Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yes, maybe we could begin with some documentation. I mean, the point where we don't have anything at all to automatically resize and having some documentation to help who need to resize. I think it's a first step. The second one, we could, for example, to have a list of some easy quick wins to maybe to begin to implement. If, for example, we are in, for example, EBS, in AWS or in Google Cloud or whatever, and it's easy to handle the resizing, and we could test it. We could freeze, for example, the writes, have the reads, but you guys, the Postgres more than me. I do it sometimes even before the cloud. We could freeze the file system, do the resizing, do the check FS, etc., etc., and after that defreeze the database, and we let the read and the write.
Yeah. Recompiling the documentation, like example how everyone else is doing it, we can probably. It's a really good way to make it. Because the important thing here is what Itai mentioned, is that, and Seth already pointed, the resize will require the storage class to do something, and we will have to restart. But can we do it live? That will be the breakthrough. Because currently you can resize the stuff. Probably automatically, you will have something like Kubernetes to create some kind of policy to actually a policy over that storage that will say that if you reach 90%, you increase in a 60%, reaching this top, and that kind of policy that will resize the storage and can indicate the structure, to change the spec in the cluster that will restart. The problem is that you are restarting.
Yes, like Tiberi said, is if we want to do the restart way, we could recreate, for example, a backup and restore the new database with the new size.
Yeah.
It could be some solution.
And making it, I mean, if you want to add value, if everyone is doing, let's add value. Let's make it something that is actually nice to have, like we're doing this live. Because if I'm, for example, when I'm doing something like this kind of stuff on servers and everything, I will have some storage. I'll add this storage to the LVM. I will extend the PG, the group. I'll extend the event, LVM. I'll extend the partition. And from there, I'll extend the file system without shutting down anything. And automatically I'll be from being 100% usage to 20% usage. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but yeah, it could be like that. So that is the nice part. And in Kubernetes, we have the storage class. The storage class have the information. The storage class can be actually resized. And now the storage class can do the resize live. That is another question. It could be nice if they can do it live. Because I know that Amazon, at least, they require to attach or reattach, or they can do it live. I think that they can do it live. Yeah, Amazon can do it live, the resize of the storage.
I don't know whether Kubernetes does it, because the last time I've played something like that, I had to remove the pod and then recreate it. And that's the question, whether we can pull this off. But it would be wonderful.
And that is the kind of thing that we probably need to recopilate information. So we can have everything and create some kind of a really good implemented issue with all the documentation, a lot of order in that issue, and we put the information there, and from there we can start doing something. Because the first problem will be support at least one. And I'm sure that we can support TopoLVM live, because TopoLVM, it will supply the file system under the hood. And that is just an instruction on the storage class of how much space you have. And that's it. But the second one, it will be something like actually attach some storage. And that will be Ceph, Rook, something like that. I can do it live, so Ceph can do it live. Something that we can test without spending money. That is the first step. Because even if there is, we can talk with the CNCF to do some tests live in the open source. Those tests cost money. Managing this patient
I can handle this type of tests if you want.
How?
I can handle if it's just some money in the cloud provider. At least I can handle some of them.
Now, I know that the CNCF provides this kind of information. We just need to have time to talk with them. Okay? But thank you. We can use that in the future. Thank you for that.
By the way, I remember, at least for logs, you mentioned how is there in general in Kubernetes. And then now, for example, I have several examples when, for example, we have some PVC and they are full of disk about, for example, some extra logs, etc. And I know that just with the PVC, we raise the volume, and I don't think that there is anything else to do. And the resizing of the ABS, at least at the AWS, was enough to let the logs continue to write perfectly without anything. I don't think that there is a hook in the VM or something like this, but I can troubleshoot more to see what's it's done just in the PVC, in Kubernetes PVC layer.
That kind of example, having them in an issue documented, so people can read them, and probably we can reach some consensus on what we can do on the resize, it will be really awesome. Because that is the kind of information we all require. No question about it. Because I didn't know, and probably a lot of people doesn't know that you can actually just resize. The storaging will be enough. So yeah, it's this is this is kind of weird because what Justin Jeremy is saying auto grow, but doesn't restart. It's not doing it live. Okay, they are actually what they're doing is have the storage class to allow the volume expansion, which is something we already do. And this kind of resize, we don't do it automatically. But again, you can set some kind of policy outside that we do this grow of the storage. But the funny part will be, can it be done without the restart? That is really interesting.
I think the question might be a storage class question. I mean, because that's their prerequisite that's listed there, is that allow volume expansion has to be set to true on the storage class. So do storage, like, I need to go read about storage classes probably and find out if that volume expansion feature always requires like detaching and reattaching, or if that feature actually works transparently.
Yeah, that information is nice. So that is kind of fun. And we are running out of time, but we need to make sure to add this to the agenda for the next time. Where is the next meeting? Calendar. Month. February 5, or we can continue next week on the office hours. But in any case, February 5. Blah, 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 blah. Agenda.
So, well,
The
AI is telling me that Kubernetes volume expansion is transparent and does not require a pod restart, and that it's online. I don't know if that's true or not.
I know that the kind of thing is true in the latest versions. But yeah.
Oh, it depends on the provider. I found it in the Kubernetes docs. I will link it.
Yeah, the storage class provided requires to enable, because I know that a couple of them don't do it.
Yep.
Okay, we reached the end. That it was a good meeting. This is the kind of things that we need to do for the agenda here. Before I forgot, because how to resize? No, how to resize to that. Okay, here example of the log 404. Okay. Okay, so with that we can start closing the call. I have one question. It was easy to use the new tool for the notes? For the notes, this thing? Everyone found it useful? Just to make
Also,
sure
it
that we did
doesn't
that.
require a different account, so it's great.
Yeah, because it was a good chain, in my opinion. The agenda now is, by the way, is all the story we have to split by year, because the file is not big, so all the history is here by year, okay? And with that being said, we see you next week for the people in the office hours, next Wednesday, and in February 5 for the next community meeting. And remember to add the calendar. One extra feature. If you want to see the recaps of all the community meetings, the YouTube channel CloudNativePG, we by saying me, wasted some time and add all our recordings. So if you want to watch the recording from the first one, this one was when we were sharing the talks when we started in Valencia. Okay, so all the community meetings are here, and now the CNCF is going to start uploading automatically the community meetings. Okay, I uploaded as much as I can, but at some point those recordings are from Gabriele Bartolini. I'll ask him if he has some of them, because there are some missing. Okay, so if you have anything, you can go back and watch them there. This is the channel. Subscribe. And now we are YouTubers. Subscribe, please. Anyway, with that being said, thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and hope to see you. Mamma mia. I'm going to set up. Jaime, are you there? Okay. I lost the connection with Zoom, so I'm going to try to get out and get in, but see you soon in the next community meeting. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Now I need to claim the host to try to call the call. Claim the host. Can someone not leave? Is someone is there? Can someone hear me?
Yes. But I'm leaving as well.
Okay.
So.
Can you close the meeting, please? I'll
I
make you
can
host.
try. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now you're the
Thank
host.
you.
Can you close the meeting, please?
Yeah. And for all.